got to have an interview with one of our fantastic keynote speakers for the march on October the 5th, Jan Broberg, and I'll let her tell you more about who she is.
So just a recap of my story, I grew up in Idaho in a very what I consider very middle American family. You know, mom stayed home, dad went to work, and a family moved into our neighborhood. We met them at church. I was 9, and 3 years later, after doing hundreds of activities with this family and thinking that their father was my second father and feeling like they were our best friends, he kidnapped me and severely and mentally brainwashed me and raped me repeatedly, and then kidnapped me a second time after I was found the first time. It's a Netflix documentary called Abducted in Plain Sight. If you haven't seen my story, it's a story that really shows how children and adults, we can all be manipulated and brainwashed, and it's not usually a scary stranger. It's somebody who's very close to you. It's someone that you love, someone you trust, someone that you think is without reproach, really. And that's the reason why there are 2 billion people on the planet who have been abused by someone that they know. That's a very huge number, and as children. So it's a bigger problem than anything else that I know out there. It's the biggest number of affected human beings on the planet, whether they're now adults or they're being abused at this moment as children, and we just don't know it. And so I got behind this in my own way in my 20s and 30s, and have been talking about my story for a very long time. And now that it's gone viral, I have all these wonderful opportunities to be an advocate, an activist, an outspoken, empowered feminist. I'm all of the above, and I really am so grateful to be a part of the march. I can't wait to get everybody there. I hope that there are hundreds of thousands of people who come out to protect our children. And so I'm an actress by profession. I run a theater in Southern Utah, the Center for the Arts at Kayenta. I'm the executive director there. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of something that I really truly believe is the final frontier. So many other movements have happened. Why are the children last? I don't know. But they're the largest group, and they're the most important resource that we have. And so I'm so thrilled that we're coming together in order to literally take on any organization, institution, or anything that harbors or hides or doesn't have strong enough protective laws for kids. So let's do this. Let's make it national news.
Thank you very much, Jan. Now, I've seen your documentary, and several times as I watched it, my jaw dropped. I've now met your mother, and I just want to tell you that I appreciate the courage, the vulnerability it takes to come forward with a story like this. You, your mom, your dad. Thank you for that courage, and I want to recognize that publicly.
Thank you. It does take courage. And the thing that I think is amazing about the documentary is that none of us were coached. None of us had to talk about things we didn't want to. Everyone was in a place where they were ready to say, I will expose all if it might help somebody else see through some master manipulator in their life, because it's someone so close to you, you absolutely don't know or think it could possibly be that person.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask you this question. Our goal is to eliminate child abuse, including child sex abuse.
Right.
So in your opinion, what would be the number one thing that society could do to help eliminate child abuse?
I think the first thing is that you have to stand up and you have to report. If you even suspect the slightest thing, it's as simple as picking up a phone, making a phone call. You don't even have to leave your name, and saying, I saw this person do this odd thing to this child, period. If people would do that, that report, that one sentence or two sentences would sit in a file somewhere, and someone across town that you may not know may have had a similar experience. If everyone just called and reported this to their police department or to a hotline, it would revolutionize the way that we start to out these friendly, familiar predators. These people are friendly, they're familiar, they're not scary strangers. And people are so reticent to make a report because I don't want to file a report on Uncle so and so or Grandpa or the school teacher that got Teacher of the Year last year, or the Boy Scout leader, or the guy I've been working with in the primary, or in the whatever, whatever it is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you just have to report. You have to say something. That's the very first thing. Nothing happens until people speak up.
Okay, the final thing that I wanted to ask you is there anything else that you would like to express to those that are going to be watching this video or are making the decision whether or not to come out to march?
So I say this: lead with your heart. If you care about your children, or your neighbor's children, or your best friend's children, or another woman or man that you know has been through some kind of childhood abuse, and I guarantee you there isn't a person in any neighborhood in the planet that does not have someone that they know, either it's a very close friend or a family member who has gone through abuse, especially as a child, or they are maybe at arm's length. It's somebody that you heard about, like a Jan Broberg story, maybe. But I promise, when I go and speak anywhere and I ask, you don't have to raise your hand, but is there anyone here who has not been touched by abuse, that does not either have a person in their life that's experienced it or they themselves? If there's anybody here, please stand. Do you know how many people stand? In all the times that I've spoken, I've had one person
Oh my gosh.
that
Wow.
did not have a personal either experience or someone close to them. And I know it's hard to stand up to the people that you've been around, that you've gone to your family reunions with, that you've worked with in your church organization, in your school, in some other organization. But it's time. It's time to put the child first.
Thank you so much, Jam. I look forward to marching with you and listening to your advocacy on October 5th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. I'm super excited. All right. Protect every child. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Thanks.